He's a former federal prosecutor in Vegas and in Washington, D.C., but now Paul Padda is helping you win your personal injury case. He joins us now with his client, Frank Banya, who also has a veterans website to help veterans find legal advice, I understand, called Frank's Place. So you're a veteran, check that out. But it sounds like, Frank, you did find a good legal representation here at Paul Padda Law. Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so let's talk about that, what I said in the intro. Federal prosecutor, now to personal injury. So why make the switch there?
You know, I was fighting on behalf of crime victims when I was a prosecutor, and I always had the entrepreneurial streak and wanted to start my own law firm.
Oh.
I thought if I went into the private sector, started my own practice, that I could help a larger segment of the population. Sure. And so part of what I do now is just basically putting my skills to work as a former prosecutor, going to court, trying cases, and helping people achieve compensation and justice if they've been injured.
And when it's your own practice, Paul Padda Law, you get to make the rules, so you
That's
can
right.
be a little bit more personal, I would suspect.
You know what? If it doesn't go well, I can only blame myself. I'm my own boss now.
Now, Frank, what happened to you, and why did you need Paul's help?
The VA sent me to, I'm a victim of Agent Orange, and they sent me to Loma Linda, California, to have a simple heart procedure, and they gave me a stroke.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
And that's how I ended up in this chair. I was also an ex-musician, so they took my music, they pretty much took my life away.
I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that. I'm so sorry that happened to you, but I'm so glad that you found Paul Padda.
I called attorneys from coast to coast, and most of them don't even want to talk to you if you're a veteran.
Wow.
And I called Paul, and he invited me in to spend some time with him, and we made friends after that.
Gotcha. So what impressed you most? What made him stand out? Because there's so many advertisements on TV, there's so many billboards, what was it about him that made you want to work with him?
He would talk to me. He would spend time with me. I would call and he would return my calls. And that was really most important.
And I'm sure that's one of the top things that you need to look for when looking for a lawyer. What else should people be on the lookout for?
I think the sentiment that Frank is echoing here is basically you need a lawyer who has a sense of compassion. Because if you can't advocate, you have to believe in your client's case in order to be an effective advocate. You go to court, you have to convince a jury that something bad happened and that your client deserves compensation.
Right.
And I think that often, the relationship between an attorney and a client, it's a very personal relationship. And so you have to believe that that person who's representing you believes in you and has compassion for your case and your situation.
You have to feel it inside, too.
That's right.
What advice would you give someone who's looking for a personal injury lawyer?
Well, like I said, I called them from coast to coast, and you really need somebody who will talk to you. Maybe return your call, make an appointment. Not just brush you up to some secretaries. So actually get on the phone and say, "Hi, I'm Paul. Let's talk for a minute."
You don't feel like just another number.
Right.
You feel like
Frank. I
Frank.
talked to him a minute on the phone. He says, "Well, geez, I think maybe you better come in. We should spend some time,
Right.
That's when you're getting there.
And you recently had a $160 million verdict for a client? Wow.
Yeah, it was a long, hard-fought 5 years of litigation, but
5 years.
We prevailed in court. I think the jury understood how bad things were in terms of what was done to my client, and it was a very satisfying result.
If you've been injured, you need an experienced law firm to stand up for you.
I'm attorney Paul Padda, and I'm ready to fight for you.
Injured? Pick up the phone and make that call. Better call Paul. 702-366-1888. 702-366-1888.